Open the meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, December 11th, 2017. Let's see, what do we have? Minutes of January 16th, 2015. No, well, actually, March 16th. Anybody read the morning, find any corrections, deletions, additions?
There's a lot there, but it looked alright.
It's what?
There's a lot there, but it looked accurate.
I didn't find anything. I read over quickly. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes of March 16th, 2015?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of March 16th, 2015.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of accepting the minutes of March 16th, 2015, please say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Done. All right, letter from the zoning enforcement office to the Pham family, 11/27/17. Request for.
There's one more set of minutes.
Is what?
One more set of minutes.
November 13th, 2017.
November 13th, 2017. I did read these over. Anybody have any corrections, additions, deletions? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes of Monday, November 13th, 2017?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of Monday, November 13th, 2017.
And a second?
I'll second.
It's been made, motion and second to accept the minutes as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's it? Yep. All right. Letter from the zoning enforcement officer to the Pham family, 11/27. Milton, regarding the property from 395 Plymouth Street in Halifax, Mass. From the office of the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer, 499 Plymouth Street in Halifax. Dear Pham family, it has come to the attention of this office that there has been an apparent occupancy and use changes over the years at 395 Plymouth Street. Our records do not contain documents or occupancy permits substantiating the current 6-family use at this location. Due to the age, deficient maintenance, and information at this address, and after a preliminary site meeting on October 30th and October 31st, 2017, I am deeming it necessary and requesting a building evaluation by a registered design professional under 2009 IEBC 104.2.11 to determine if this structure meets the minimum requirements under 780 CMR 101.3 intent. I am also requesting a determination on any proposed or future work applicable to any use or building requirements under 780 CMR to be designed and applied according to 780 CMR 107.6 construction control. You have the right to repeal this notice in order to the State Building Code Appeals Board pursuant to 780 CMR 113 and the Mass General Law, Chapter 143, Section 100, within 45 days after the service of this notice upon you. Violations of the code of the Town of Halifax zoning bylaws are punishable with fines up to $300 per day, with each passing day constituting a separate offense, as per Section 167.23. Such fines will be administered through the Clerk Magistrate's office at the Plymouth District Court. Copy sent to the Board of Selectmen, Zoning Board of Appeals, Board of Health, and the Fire Department. Thank you, Robert Piccarelli, Inspector of Buildings, Zoning Enforcement Officer. Yikes. As far as we know, any response from the Pham family at all?
Nothing's happened yet. No updates, right?
They're working.
Working with that.
Okay, so that's a good thing. Okay, bingo. Old Colony Planning Council agenda for 11/29. That's all. Good. Can read that as you need be. 2018 Board of Selectmen meeting schedule. What are we doing with that? Good. We now have their schedule. Memo from Charles Seary, Land Use Council change. To the Building Inspector, Zoning Board of Appeals, Planning Board, Conservation Commission, Board of Health from Charlie Seelig, Town Administrator, December 5th, 2017, Land Use Council. At its meeting on Tuesday, November 28th, the Halifax Board of Selectmen voted to use the legal firm of Copeland and Page for future legal services related to land use issues. There are a few matters such as acting as defense counsel for the Zoning Board of Appeals in the matter of Halifax Building Inspector versus the Zoning Board of Appeals, Robert Bergstrom and Casaya Nazarella, for which for practical reasons Deutsch Williams will continue to act as counsel, but for future legal matters, including advice requested by various regulatory boards and officials, Copeland and Page will be to the, quote, go-to firm. If you have any questions, please contact me. This letter is dated December 5th, 2017. Email dated from Rich 12/4/17 from Rich Huxham, the in-law apartment renewals. Do I have that here? Here we go. Basically, we had asked him in the message response to your question concerning the special permits for in-law apartments. You've asked whether a zoning bylaw amendment is needed to include a requirement for notice to abutters of renewals of special permits for the in-law apartments. It's our opinion, because of the special permit for the in-law apartment is effective only for a 5-year term, it is not effective after that term unless renewed. Abutters to the subject property should be provided with notice of an application for renewal of a special permit for the in-law apartment. He goes through to list definition of in-law apartments and the requirements regarding section 167(7)(d)(12) of our bylaws, and then concludes, in our opinion, the language in section 167(7)(d)(12) of the bylaw stating special permits for in-law apartments are granted for a period of 5 years and must be renewed after the 5 years by coming back to a zoning board meeting, indicates that a special permit for an in-law apartment is effective for a term of 5 years and not effective after that term unless renewed by the Zoning Board of Appeals. Because a special permit for an in-law apartment is effective for only a 5-year term, it is not effective after that term unless renewed. In our opinion, abutters to the subject property should be provided with notice of an application for renewal of a special permit for an in-law apartment. In our opinion, section 167(7)(d)(12) of the bylaw should be amended to clarify that abutters of the subject property must be provided with notice of an application for renewal of a special permit for an in-law apartment. We would be happy to work with you on to draft a warrant article proposing such a bylaw amendment. We hope this is helpful. Please contact us if you have any questions regarding this matter. John Richard Huscom, Principal, Deutsch Williams. And I understand you said there you've done a little bit of research.
Yes, it's in your folders too. There's some language of 6 other towns' bylaws.
Notice of public hearing. Notice of public hearing.
Do you want to do that after the appointments?
Yeah, what time is our,
It's 7:10, so that would be...
that we could do that, we'll review that. But that's great. We'll look at that after we get through with our first hearing. How's that? We'll get back to it. 7:10. See you tonight at 7:10. Petition 871. Derek Lewis and Christopher and Kimberly Bernasconi, 173 Monpont Street, special permit for addition.
So you would ask them to bring in a plot plan?
Oh, yeah, this is the one we did. Kimbrels, we would like to request an extension in regards to the town meeting being held on 12/11/17 to the next zoning board meeting. This is 173 on Ponset Street. What do we have for time constraints? We've only continued it 30 days, so we could give them another 30 days extension.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll vote. So anybody would like to make a motion regarding accepting the request by petitioners of 871 to continue the hearing till the next zoning board meeting?
I'll make a motion for petition 871 to accept a letter of continuance till the next meeting, January 8th.
Yes. Sorry.
Second.
And it's seconded. We'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 5-0 to extend the continuance. Thank you. Okay. That's close enough. Let's see. Do we have bills? We could probably sign them quick. We have a couple of minutes
We have
before
one
that.
bill.
Ads for petition 858.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. Did they mention what the problem was or anything?
The Bernasconis.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I called them again. They called a couple weeks ago, Derek Lewis, and asked if they needed anything. We told him again, plot plan, and he said, okay, he'd let them know. And then I called him again today because we hadn't heard back, and he said that they still didn't have the plot plan, so they needed to continue.
All right.
So,
That's theirs. All right. Close enough. 7:15. Petition 858. Joseph Gursky, 37 Carver Street. Special permit renewal. The Halifax Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, December 11th, 2017, at 7:15 p.m. in meeting number 1 of the Town Hall, 499 Plymouth Street in Halifax, on the application of Joseph B. Podersky, did I pronounce it correctly, as a determination that the applicant's business more appropriately falls under the category of home business / professional office or studio requiring a special permit to the property located at 37 Carver Street in Halifax. Said property is owned by Joseph P. Podersky and Joseph M. Podersky, as shown on Assessors Map number 71, Lot 17A. The applicant seeks to renew the special permit acquired in 2016, petition 858, in accordance with the zoning bylaws of the town of Halifax, under the following: section 167.3, definitions, specifically home business or professional office / studio, page 167.7, and section 167.7 D11 A through H, specific use regulations, home business or professional office / studio conducted by a resident of the premises, page 167.26, and section 167.7, summary of use regulations, page 167.20, area zone residential petition 858. Hi, how are we doing?
Good. Hang on.
Good. And just for our record, your name, please, sir?
Joseph P. Pedersky.
Okay. And how are we looking here, Joseph?
Good. I think everything went as it was supposed to. I did get rid of some of the things that was a complaint, and machines were used to make some additions to the property. I brought some updated photos of them. That's pretty much it.
Nothing's changed, no additional property or anything, any other cleared? How about as far as the number of vehicles or cars or anything like that has changed? Excuse me?
Less.
Less?
I sold a couple vehicles.
How many?
2.
So,
one new one, so down 1.
so that's,
It's really quiet.
yeah, there you go. Oh, well, that's good. So how many are there total now?
3 usually. Kind of depends. I kind of leave in places, but it's usually 3.
Okay. Any other changes, anything we should know about, deletions, anything? I'll open up first to any members of the board have any questions of the applicant?
How's the run times on the vehicles? Yeah. I know we had a problem last time as far as
And we
operation.
also moved vehicles that were warming up in the morning to the other side of the property. So,
Did you see all these? Anybody else have any more questions? Nothing else has changed as far as times or anything like that? Can we have these for the file, or do you
yes.
want the back? We'll put them in there. All right, I'll open up any questions or comments by abutters. If you could just state your name and
John Sirocco, 31 Carver Street, direct abutter to Joe. Been a great neighbor. He's followed everything. Couldn't say anything better. It's been really positive. So, just wanted to come here. I mean, most people don't even take advantage to come, so just wanted to at least.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Put it on record, you know.
How about the people across the street? Have you heard back from them at all, or any kind of comments or anything?
I haven't seen anybody besides Ralph, and
Yeah.
Ralph's happy.
Yep. I can honestly say I've been by a couple of different times, and I see a huge difference in the place. I thought the place looked great, to be honest with you. I mentioned that, prior to the meeting, but unless anybody else has driven by and there's any other comments, let me ask any of the members of the board feel necessary, or we need an on-site inspection or anything, or are we good with the pictures? What's the pleasure of the board?
I'm fine with the pictures, and the abutter's fine, so that's the positive part.
Okay. Why don't then I'll accept a motion to accept the renewal of petition number. How long was the last petition for?
1 year.
Was it 1 year? We want to continue with one. We want to change that. How does the board feel?
No, it's been about 2 years.
I think the 1 year was to see how it went. I
Yeah.
think it went well. So.
I think. What do we normally? Don't we usually do 4? Or is it a 5-year?
No, for a special permit, it's only 2.
It
The
could
in-laws
be
5, right?
completely from here on in. With some of the other
Oh, that's true.
ordinances, you don't really have a time limit.
Well, do you want to give them a 5-year extension?
How's the board feel about 5?
It depends on, is the neighbor happy with them? You happy with them?
That's what he said. Yeah.
And there's no other complaints, give them a 5-year extension, and as it happens in the meantime, we can knock them back
We
out.
can be subject to
Yeah.
inspection by the zoning enforcement agent. All right, I'll accept a motion for a 5-year renewal to petition number 858 to be held at. I'm looking for the address. 37.
No, no, no.
Yes, 37
Gotcha.
Carver Street.
I'll make a motion to accept the renewal for a 5-year period for petition of 858 at 37 Carver Street.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, who do we have voting on this? Kasaya, Peter, myself? Well,
Yeah.
okay, we'll go for a voice vote. Kasaya?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
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 5-0, it passes. She'll draw up the paperwork. Does that have to go, does that have to go down to, first, to the registry of deeds?
I don't. Yes.
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay, it does.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to check with the clerk's office and find out when you can get that all typed up
Okay.
and squared away. All right?
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming in, sir. Thank you so very much.
Can you guys just
Thank you.
sign the signage? Oh, you did. Perfect. Thank you.
I was really surprised driving by there. The place looked great.
Yeah.
It really did. I mean, the pictures did it justice. It was even
You guys just
Even
sign your name and your vote.
Oh, yeah.
That way we can put that
858.
down about it.
Even Jonathan.
Huh?
Even Jonathan, great neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, that was. When
turnaround.
does that ever happen? You know, that's awesome.
These are the types of meetings I like. Everybody's happy.
Now we go home.
Well, we
Patriots
have
early. Oh.
some in-laws.
Yeah, we do have
Oh,
some.
Did it hold for next month?
You're gonna have to do the butters need to be informed, right?
Yep, I think we have to start doing that.
Start doing.
I think you guys have. I put copies in your folder for the in-laws.
Well, I mean, where it has been our past practice that we haven't required it, how does the board feel about January 1st? We start a new 2018, that until when our, I don't know if everybody read over, but Huxham recommended that we add language in our bylaw, which I think we should.
Yeah.
It does make sense that
That way,
we do have to cover ourselves, you know.
if the applicant is not truthful, then the neighbors will probably write him up.
That's probably exactly right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so he felt it does make sense. If the permit expires and therefore there is no more special permit after the 5-year period for the in-law apartment, then it's null and void. And I think after our discussion from our last meeting and kind of learned that with the other special permit that it should be the abutter should be notified of the renewal since there is another permit in there. He called me by phone. I spoke with him by phone, Rick Huxham, and I asked him specifically about advertising, because I was just thinking about the cost of advertising, you know, so if they had it 5 years. And basically he said in the zoning act, it's pretty specific about it. But as far as, again, the language on our zoning bylaws with the town, it's not required. So, well, then maybe instead of January 1st, how do you feel about it? Would have to. When's the next special town meeting in May?
Mm-hmm.
So would have to go with status quo until May, or make it effective January 1st. That it at least has to be the abutters have to be notified. As far as advertising goes, I think if we change the language, you know, in May we could do that. But he was pretty adamant about at least notifying the abutters.
How would they be notified?
The same way, you ask for an abutters list. By definition, in our bylaw, within X number of feet from the petition property, they are notified by mail. I believe it's registered mail.
That's up to the applicant.
No,
No, it's just mail.
the only one that would get registered mail is the actual applicant. The abutters would have regular mail.
From the town?
Well, that would be another
That
discussion
cost
whether
is
we would
passed
be
on.
for it, or if the petitioner would have to pay for it.
So that would have to be put in the bylaw, how that's gonna be handled.
I don't think necessarily.
Well,
It's in the.
not the cost, but who?
Well, procedure is that the zoning board of appeals sends out the letters.
That's what
But the applicant pays for it.
Correct.
Yes.
With our regular special permit applications. But for further discussion, Lana and I did some research on how some of the other towns handle their special permits. for in-law
What were some of the other
apartments.
towns you called?
Or
I think we have.
Yeah.
Carver, Dayton, Douglas, Paulson, Hopkinton.
It's the ones that we could find similar procedures that what we're doing now with affidavits.
That is. Okay. I don't see the difference.
I don't see any.
no, that's what Perry had come up with to possibly to change the letter E to read that bottom paragraph.
This is the top half is our current bylaw.
Yep.
And letter E is the specific saying 5 years you must come back to a zoning board meeting. So the bottom half would be to amend E specifically to read.
To read that the affidavit that we have been doing is now in the bylaw.
Which is what other towns.
All right, does anyone feel like in amending E to read for the subsequent renewal, special permits issuance for existing in-law apartments, to somewhere include in there the notification of abutters in advertisement? I mean, specifically to put it in there?
It should be in there.
It should be in
I
there.
think it should be too. Where were the other towns that you were in? You said they were near somewhere?
It's in there.
Of course it's the last one.
None of the other towns are saying that they have to,
Correct, they're just going by.
they're just the same basically as ours, just a renewal and that's it.
Ours is
It's
states
the way it
right now.
stays, the way it is existing.
Yeah, how many towns did you look at? A lot.
Well, we basically looked at, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We basically looked at 6 that was similar to what we're doing now.
Six.
Yeah,
And then other towns were really vague.
Very big.
oh yeah,
A lot of them didn't even have anything about renewals at all.
yeah, I mean,
So.
from my experience, I think you're a pretty tough in-law bylaw, which I think is what it is, but,
In Massachusetts, just so you know, for the past year or so, they have been looking at changing their own general bylaws or general zoning for in-law apartments to be as of right.
wow.
So that is still supposedly going through the state, which would then give us more leeway on
So
taking
Carver's,
it out completely.
Carver's 3 years, Dayton is 2 years.
As of right.
As of right for a single thing, for a
Meaning we would
residential?
not, we don't have to require a special permit.
Really? What are the restrictions on the lot size, everything?
Well, that we can still have our own restrictions,
Oh, okay.
but I mean, our restrictions are zoning anyway.
This is a state? Interesting.
Now the question is that, does that come under any other heading as in a single-family dwelling with rental property? Because if you have a special permit that doesn't require, a relationship with the tenant, then basically you're creating
The
rental property.
yeah.
I mean, any way you look at it, once you
It's a
get,
multifamily.
and once you get a special permit to do that, it's in full existence. I notice the other towns are 2 years, 3 years, 2 years,
Yeah.
3 years.
Well, the issue would be
And the others are by right, really?
like this is would
Well,
have
a lot of the towns do have it by right.
yeah. But
Or
the
have
issue
no
then
bylaws
is
on it
you're
at all.
kind of creating a
Is it for family members?
you're
though?
kind of creating a
It's
multi-family
called
dwelling.
accessory
Yeah, sure you
apartment,
are.
And so
you can just have
you could make an argument that you wouldn't be able to have them at all in certain areas, like according to our bylaws. You could go one way or the other, which is the issue. I don't
In
want to
other
get
words,
into it right
if they
now.
wouldn't, if they couldn't fulfill the requirements of a multifamily
couldn't have it
development,
at all.
then you can't have a,
Separate kitchen. You know what I mean?
Technically, Massachusetts, with Massachusetts laws,
Hmm.
you cannot say what even a single family home can have inside their house. You cannot tell them that they cannot have two kitchens.
Well, so that's the issue. You're creating a separate kitchen, a separate living area. Then you're
Right. If it's a
create-
completely
that's the
separate
issue.
living area.
so like if
But
you wanted to
multifamily
make
is
it
also 3 or more units, not 2,
okay.
just to clarify that.
So I mean,
so that would be a, well,
I don't know.
you're still,
But,
you're
you
still
know,
At
creating.
this point,
Let's not put that on the back burner. Right now, we just wanted to give you information regarding the affidavit process that we're doing now, that other towns are doing it by affidavit for renewals without notifying the butters. Basically looking at your thoughts, and it's something that we could possibly pass on to the Board of Selectmen and then have it go to the planning board for any type of amendments to the bylaws in May. So, food for thought.
Because we were advised by, and her name.
Absolutely.
Her name escapes me, the attorney, that you can't over notify.
Kathleen,
No, it was,
With an S, I think.
Kim,
no, it was, Sarah.
Yeah.
No,
No, the last name.
Sally,
Salon.
Salon.
that's our last
Yeah,
name.
Kim, Kim Salon.
Yeah.
That was
she-
from
she
George
was
Floyd.
right about that.
She did say that we should.
I
Is-
personally don't think it's a terrible idea to have people
To notify the abutters.
Well, we could certainly put that into there, having an
I think that
affidavit
should be in
notifying
there. I don't know
the-
if it's, yeah,
That's
That's an
not
easy
like-
addition.
The reason I like that, and I think 2 to 3 years is ridiculous. You think it's 5 years is a good time. But if there is an issue, it gives the abutters a chance to,
To speak up.
At the same time,
Yeah.
though, if there are issues or complaints, they don't wait 5 years. They let us know immediately.
Well,
I feel like
how
there's
long
probably
was the
a-
family there, just as an example, until somebody finally spoke up? 6 years, is that what he said?
Oh, it's been longer
Where
than
is
this.
that place?
This goes back to
The old farmhouse.
Right here?
Is that what it
back
is?
when.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have to do with in-law, that's multifamily.
Yeah.
And that came through because.
Well, I mean, you were
of
talking about
issues.
as far as
Yeah,
having the
complaint,
abutters
yeah.
complain, they could go on forever until
Did
nobody
they
would.
condemn that a while ago?
No,
I thought there was nobody supposed to be living in that.
not that I'm aware
Yeah, it was something about the septic, wasn't it?
They did the septic system, but it didn't.
It just went out the back door, didn't it?
Yeah.
So to speak.
I do remember that.
Didn't it just go into a pipe?
It was into the lot next door or something,
Yeah,
right?
so you dump it into the hot lot.
That's right. Yeah,
Yikes.
that's bad news.
Inside, the,
Bad
inside
form.
Maybe it's still happening.
you wouldn't put a dog in there.
Well, then that property between the two there just went up for
That
sale?
belongs to Harrison.
Yeah,
He didn't sell it with the farmhouse.
he did not.
It was supposed to go with the farmhouse.
Oops. Is that residential or is that commercial? Didn't it go commercial all the way to the end?
it's commercial.
I think it is. I think it is. Did somebody ask me about that? I sicked them on you, by the way. Yeah, I said, yeah, you gotta go up and see the building inspector. He asked me if it was residential or commercial, and could he put a commercial building in there, and he just put the sign up, like within the last week and a half. And somebody from that I work with over there called me, and I said, I sicked them on you guys. I said, oh, how do I know whatever? I have no idea what every piece of property is zoned in
Yeah,
town.
I got that call. Thanks.
Huh?
I said I got that call, thanks.
Yeah, whatever. We'll pass the buck bird, they call.
Anyway, so, if you guys wanna make some adjustments, bring it back to us next meeting and we'll get it going.
I think food for thought. Then, if just to sum up, is it the pleasure of the board to remain with the 5-year renewal? Or how does he feel about 2 years, 3 years, or anything else? I personally think the 5 years
I think
is
the 5
is fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've been doing it for a long time.
All right,
Yeah.
so I think that should be included in the wording.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we, if we want to add into the wording also about the abutters notification, I think from applications beginning, that was my thought, January 1st of 2018 would at the minimum include in a butters notification for renewals, and then have it changed into, because right now the wording's in there, but it's not a requirement according to Huxham. So bottom line, I think we should continue with that, only for the renewals, enforce it, especially where we've done it in the past as far as a brand new permit, special permit for in-laws. And he's made it quite obvious that basically every renewal is a new permit because it expires, and therefore there is no more permit. That's what I got out of his letter. I don't know if
It's
it's
the same thing.
the same thing. So I think rather than continue making a mistake until we pass a special meeting to revise that section E, that it, beginning January 1st at our next meeting, we will require for renewals notification of the abutters. And then we can decide from there, talking with council, whether to not only include the 5 years, include the abutters notification. We'll have to make up our minds and as a board to see how we feel about re-advertising.
All right, do we want to take that on as a cost from the zoning board, or do you want the applicants to have to do that?
Oh, that's gonna be the applicants.
We have to save our money for that van.
Well, I'll go
Because that
ahead.
will, it would just be a longer process where we're gonna have to notify them like 2 months in advance as opposed to 1. And we have to advertise all the deadlines.
Well, no, not the advertising, just the abutters list, just the abutters notification, that their permit is being
So
renewed.
you're not requiring us to advertise?
I think it's just your general notification would be fine of the hearing.
How does the board feel until
Yeah.
at such
Yeah,
time we
yeah.
decide that the wording has to be changed to include advertising? Why don't we just go with the,
Just the abutters. I
Just
think,
the
is all we
abutters
want.
notification.
And you have
Yeah.
your 2 week.
because I agree with that Tim Salant,
Right.
you can't over,
Yeah.
you know,
Increase our budget.
give a heads up to.
No, we can.
Okay.
Alright, so, I'm gonna check with the assessor's office, cause if this is something that we can do to get in the butters list and not have to pay the $25, I don't see.
Oh, that'd be
why we should
huge.
have to do that. And if it.
I mean, if it's saving the money, that's great.
For the most part, it should be fairly minimal, abutters at, 50 cents a mailing. I'm sure that's something that the zoning board. should
What
be
is the
able to-
requirement? Is it 50 feet, 150 feet?
300,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
close. 100, 300 feet?
300, all abutters plus 300.
That's as the crow flies, correct? Like in a circumference, yeah?
Well, we could make it immediate butters, right?
Well, an abutter's an abutter.
Yeah, it's a butter by definition.
Yeah.
Feet.
Okay.
And a butter by definition is X number of feet, and
Yeah.
said it was 300 feet.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll look into that too.
Uh,
But
Okay, why don't I take it in the form of a motion that we, if someone would like to make a motion regarding the changes and deletions to the section E of the in-law apartment renewal to include butters notification effective January 1st, 2018. And any further requirements or additions to the process will be determined at a special town meeting vote.
Anything further? Is that what you mean?
Do you want a motion just to change our procedures, and then we can talk about the amendment later?
Technically, just so you know, zoning board of appeals cannot put through a zoning amendment. So
Yeah, we're not
kinda
gonna,
like
we're not
some
amending it,
Yeah, no.
but it's in there, it's in our zoning bylaw that we
What we'll be
notify.
changing is our application procedures, right?
Our renewal application
Right.
procedure,
Right.
because it's already in our application
That's
procedure.
it. Yeah.
So Okay, I'm looking for a motion to amend, our renewal application procedures for, in-law apartment to include, a butters notification effective January 1st, 2018. How's that?
I'll make a motion
Yes? Good?
to, yeah.
Or do you want to change it? I mean,
I think no, yeah, I'm with you on that, I just wanna get it correct. Anybody else wanna jump in?
All right, we'll leave it at that. And then, okay, all those in favor, I'd like a voice vote from everybody. Everyone, how everybody feels about it. Keziah?
Okay, I think we
Pete?
seconded.
Nobody
Everything.
said.
Oh, was it seconded? I'm sorry. Seconded.
Hold on, I'll make a motion to revise our renewal application procedures to include a requirement for an abutters list and mailing, effective January 1st,
2018.
2018, to be effective for our next meeting. Does that sound right?
And a second was seconded?
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, all those in favor, voice vote. Keziah?
Yes.
Peter?
yes.
Myself, yes.
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 And, well, I'd like your opinion,
Oh, yeah.
Dan.
My opinion is yes.
All right. All right, then, we'll send a letter to the selectmen requesting an amendment change at the special pound.
You can't do that.
We-
Zoning Board of Appeals cannot request a change, it's something that planning board can do.
Okay,
It would have to be something that goes in the warrant anyway, right? So we
But
could
you as
suggest
the board
that
cannot put through a request for
for an
a
article?
law change.
we can't request an article?
Yeah, anybody can.
Not as a board, you cannot. I do not believe you can. I can look into it, but I don't
That's
believe
hurtful.
you can.
So what do we change? So we have to give it to the planning board?
No, what we could do is,
Request a selectmen.
Yeah.
right,
The planning board
exactly.
already knows
We could send a
about
letter
this.
from the
Okay.
board,
Board will be sending something down
requesting that,
to the Board of Selectmen.
the necessity to
Send it down
review.
to the planning.
We'll send a letter to the Board of Selectmen from the Zoning Board of Appeals, requesting review of the Halifax bylaw requirements for special permit for an in-law apartment.
Renewal.
Well, both. It's
Oh,
both the special permit process for both the in-law apartment and for the renewal, 5-year renewal process.
Now, would that only be for advertisement?
No,
If we're doing a change to our application, then we don't really need a bylaw change, do we?
well, what would like to do is request a review of the wording, to be included in our bylaw.
Okay, all
Put it
right.
in the bylaw.
Because
Yeah, put it
it's
in,
not
okay,
in,
all
it's
right.
not currently in our
The way
bylaw.
it's, yeah.
It's in,
Okay.
it's in the zoning act,
Yeah.
but it's not in ours, so, per our letter from, town council of whatever the date was, December, when did he send it? December,
December 4th.
from Attorney Rich Hudson of Deutsch Williams, his recommendation to update the wording for the permit process to include notification or abutter notification and advertisement.
I thought we decided we weren't gonna do advertising.
I can't hear you.
I thought we decided we weren't gonna do advertising.
We are not doing it on the renewals, but it still has to be, it has to be included in for both the original application and whether or not we don't want to do it for the renewals. We don't want to do it for renewal, but it should be listed in
Which
our,
is in the MGL 40A, we're fine with that, we don't have to put it in
Oh, I understood that that's what he needed, it all included that. Well, you know, let's
We got it.
continue this to the next meeting, and we'll figure out exactly how we want to, we'll put it on the agenda for discussion on the next meeting, how we want to specifically word the letter to the selectmen regarding additions and deletions to the renewal and the special permit process. I don't know.
Yeah, the bylaw amendment suggestion was just the notification, not
Okay.
advertisement.
Not
The way I'm
advertising.
reading it.
Because they're basically, it's not like what we had before with Harmon and the kennels where they're not changing anything with the in-law apartment. So the advertisement shouldn't have to be done all over again, it's just notifying the butters of the renewal. They're not changing the use, they're not changing anything, it's just a renewal.
There's still a fee involved.
With the advertisement, yeah, it's $80.
What about the notification?
The notifications are just the mailings.
Which is like $25 about.
Why don't we just keep the application the same and just say, after 5 years, to notify the abutters, that's it.
That's the change.
That's
That's the change, to notify the
Yeah.
abutters. Keep the application the
And
same,
leave,
just
and leave the
notify the
advertisement
abutters.
out of it altogether.
Yeah,
For the renewal.
For the renewal,
Yeah,
right.
for the renewal. And forget about the advertising and all that.
Right, that's what he's suggesting.
All right,
I mean, all we have to do is,
all right, if
So
you
you wanna
draft that, if you
continue
can,
this?
if you can give me that, just
Keep it
email that to me or something, and
really-
I'll
Wow.
put it together without the advertisement, just the
Right.
renewal,
Just about the renewal.
just the, abutters notification,
And this is a letter that you want
right,
to go to the selectmen.
right?
Okay.
All right, let's do these, renewals. What's our first one? Siegel? Zelma Siegel, 96,
565, Siegel, 97.
97 Circuit. The owner continues occupancy with principal residence or the in-law apartment, yes. Principal resides and the in-law continues to share major utilities, yes. There's been no changes made to the in-law apartment since the last renewal and or the original granting of the original special permit, yes. The person or persons who are related to the owner occupancy of this existing single-family dwelling is related by either blood or marriage. No extended family. Oh, the answer is no. Extended family.
So they're not related by blood or marriage?
That's correct. Do we know who the extended family is? I take that as they answered no to that, and their clarification is it's being, the in-law is being occupied by extended family.
So who exactly is extended family?
Exactly, that's what I'm hoping to find out. Do we know?
Well, I thought this was.
a brother from another mother.
I've seen that movie before. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, let me just drag him in here and see what.
Yeah, maybe.
I know. And family could be married.
Could be by blood or marriage. It could be, I mean, not just be
Uncle Bill.
immediately related, like.
That's gotta be a
Which it
brother,
needs
aunt,
to be,
cousin or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. Well,
But
if
it's
you,
a
if you want, we can find out.
extended.
Extended family could be your cousin, yeah. Depends on what you consider immediate
But that's still
family or
blood,
extended
cousin.
Well, how about we give him a call?
Yeah, they probably
Yeah.
should come in.
family. We can
The answer to the question is no.
Okay. Alright, so we'll find out about that.
Do I have a motion from the board to continue this petition of Velma Siegel till we find out the answer to the question of who the occupants is of the in-law.
I'll make a motion to continue the renewal application of Velma Siegel to January 8th, pending an answer to question of the relative in the in-law apartment.
They do have a phone number listed there.
Yes.
If you could give them a call and we'll find that out. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Continue to the January, what is it, 8th?
Let me check on.
Yeah, give him a call right now. Nothing like putting him on the spot.
Right?
Hey, who's the relative?
They're smart, they won't answer.
Uh-huh.
They're smart, they won't answer.
Well, we work on the other.
See, this is what it's supposed to be. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, may I speak with Velma, please? Hi, Velma, this is Adeline. I'm calling from the Halifax zoning board. We are wondering about your application for renewal, and we're just wondering who is the occupant of the in-law apartment? Okay, so it's your friend's. Okay, but it is your friend's granddaughter, is that what you said? And her boyfriend? Okay. Okay, hold on just one moment, please.
Maybe she should come in.
Yeah, it's her best friend's granddaughter and her boyfriend, who she's known 40 plus years.
Oh no.
This is not good.
Well, we did motion to continue.
We'll continue it, and we're gonna need them to come into our next hearing.
Because of the specifics of her
Yep.
model.
They're gonna have to
So I'll
come in.
just tell her
Oh,
that
that's-
we'll renew it.
Yeah.
It's continued, and we're gonna need them to attend the January meeting.
You should probably answer that. She should tell you.
I know. We are going to have to continue this, and we'll need you to
No pressure.
attend
Phone
the
call
next
on
meeting in
tape.
January. January 8th.
Yeah, I know.
7 o'clock.
Like the camera could not be
7:10.
more placed perfectly for her to be on the phone.
Oh, understandably, it's just that it should be related to you by either blood or marriage. So they just want to. The board would like to continue it and see you on January 8th.
Note to self, answer yes on that.
Yeah.
You are living in the in-law?
He ain't gonna be able to sleep.
Okay.
She's still asking.
Very correct. See you.
She's living in the in-law.
Actually, we could just stick a zoning enforcement agent with this.
Okay. The board does
Just walk
still
away.
want to see you on
Okay.
January 8th.
All those in favor?
Discuss this with you. January
She's
8th
living in the in-law.
is a Monday
So it's okay, isn't it?
It's,
at
She's living
7
in the
o'clock.
in-law apartment, so isn't it okay?
If she's the one related by blood or marriage.
I think she is.
Okay?
Oh, here we go. This is not gonna go well.
no,
You gonna get on that phone
she probably should have hung up about 10 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
as I said. she didn't
All right.
answer that phone.
Can we wait or do? This
Yeah,
is,
pick up that
Need
phone.
to take minutes.
Right.
Just while we're
Well, you
waiting,
can,
I
you will
think
have
what
the
we just went
opportunity,
through with the
opportunity to present
renewals for,
your
what
situation to the board on January 8th.
do we just do? Renewals for in-law apartments? I think if we put a time limit on home offices and we do renewals for them, I
Okay,
think it
well,
applies also that we
Again,
have to
I
inform
can't
the
really
butters.
make any decision for you, it has to be the board.
They-
And
I think
being-
they-
Technically, any
They might have.
permit renewal.
Right,
Right,
should
and
inform the
somebody
butters.
has to,
okay, and that's fine,
we
so
might
just.
want to
agree.
be thorough and think about the whole thing.
I agree.
Done it
I
once.
think they should.
Definitely, yeah.
And-
And if there's a
And
problem,
actually,
the
think
neighbors
about it.
can.
Exactly, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You know, at least giving people an
A
opportunity
lot
to
of
do
people
that.
don't doesn't know what's going on, don't know.
Look at
what
the
the
federal
federal
change.
is.
Alright.
That
She
went
just kept
swimmingly.
saying, right.
Now we're gonna find something more horrible for you to do.
I'm gonna give her all the suspension talk last night.
Merry Christmas.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We have a petition for renewal application. Robert M. Petta and Holly A. Gomes, 14 Kestrel Lane, Halifax, Mass. Please answer the questions below accurately. The owner continues to occupy either the principal residence or the in-law. The answer is yes. Principal resident, the in-law continue to share major utilities as stated. Yes. There have been no changes made to the in-law apartment since the last renewal and or the original granting of the original special permit. Answer is yes. And the persons who are related to the owner occupants of the existing single-family dwelling is related by either blood or marriage. The answer is yes. How does the board feel about the renewal of the in-law apartment at 14 Kestrel Lane? Accept a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the renewal for the in-law apartment for Robert M. Petter and Holly Gomes at 14 Kestrel Lane.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Passes for the renewal, 5-0-0. Okay, and that's the only other one. That's the,
Yeah, that's your copy.
okay. All right, where are we? What do we have left?
So
In-law,
I
in-law,
gave you guys a copy of the new meeting schedule for 2018.
yeah.
That's in there. And then I drafted a possible new application for public hearing for the application packet to sort of save paper.
This one? Oh.
Right here.
Okay, what do you have for changes?
So rather than, yeah, can you draw the same paper? So rather than having these two plus this, it's just kind of all the same information. Everything's included from all three sheets.
Could I see the
Onto
other
one.
3 sheets, please?
Basically consolidating it all into one.
Yikes.
It's very repetitive the way it's done now.
Okay, I like the consolidation, but I think that the checklist.
Yeah,
I think
that's actually separate. That has
Oh,
to
so you were testing me? Is that what you're
right? This has to be part of it. Sorry. It's the combination of that and that.
I gotta stop.
Man. Killing me today.
This is only a test. Okay, I like the email on this and the phone number. The only thing I noticed on this one here, I don't know, and it's kind of a lot to digest without looking at it, but this is the first time I saw it too. The petitioner, owner, tenant, leasee, prospective purchaser. That's not on this one. and a lot of times we do have contractors and whatnot who are doing the application for the variance, a special permit in behalf of, you know. So I think that needs to be somehow, because we do have that a lot, don't we? Contractors, some are certainly much more knowledgeable than
This
others.
portion right here where you're saying down the owner's authorization to be completed with that when applicant is other than the owner of property? That's that portion right there?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's basically applicant's name and then
Oh, I see.
owner of property.
But I think on here it tells you who exactly they are.
Right.
Even though the name's gonna be different, are they a tenant,
Mhm.
owner, contractor?
Right. There's an asterisk under the second, like owner of property,
And
to kind of direct you down there.
why don't you like this one, the specific provisions? Because that's in the application.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all like, to me, if I were an applicant, I'd be like, this information's here, it's, you know, it's all very confusing, I feel like. But it's up to you guys.
I'm gonna try and actually superimpose it.
Yeah, because this is saying the
Yeah.
reason
Oh,
and the reasons for it, and yet there is a section here on the new revised one for a section, the same thing. What are you trying to do for the reasons?
So if when you open the packet, this will be on one side, that will be on the other.
Okay.
Checklist, sorry.
The only thing that I think reason why it was so repetitive, especially with zoning, my eye hurts. I think it's because if there's any derogation, addition, or deletions from what is being applied for, it nullifies the permit. And I think that's the reason. I'm figuring that's why the repetitiveness. Because remember, it's come before the board several times, the term substantial change. If all of a sudden this dorm is put on, which wasn't on the application, or, a deck off the back, which, or whatever, if it was considered a substantial change from what they applied for, it basically null and voids the permit or the variance, and they have to come back and amend it to be included. I think that's the only reasoning for the repetitiveness from originally that was put in there, so that so there's no question. Well, wait a minute, we discussed that here. Well, no, you didn't, or no, it's not in writing, or no, it's different from what was on the plot plan versus to what you're proposing. That's the only thing I don't know. That it's what I feel was like the reasoning behind it.
Right.
Was just to make sure.
But is it necessary now? Do you still think it's necessary to have the duplication? Because whatever you guys approve, it has to go back to the building department and we check the plans with what they submit when they apply for the building.
So everybody had a chance to see the revision versus what we have now.
How are you thinking of doing just the one piece of paper
Yeah,
or?
so no, it'll be like a full piece,
Okay, yeah.
and then this will be on one side of the checklist, and then this would be on the other side.
So will this be on the front? Are you saying, or?
No, that wouldn't be in at all.
Right. Would this be on the,
Inside.
No, it would be inside. It would be like,
so what would you have on the front? How would you know
I
who's,
think just petition number.
Same as it is right
Yeah.
now. The front sheet won't change.
What is this?
That's the inside. Yeah, there you go.
This is basically the folder,
Yeah, so that's the front, and,
and then
you
this goes in
open
the
it,
folder, so to speak.
and then
Everything
the
else
second
goes in here.
Right. So that's your front sheet right there. And then inside would be your checklist and your.
Would be
Make
this,
up a couple of
the
packages.
checklist.
They would make up the folder on the inside, the checklist and the new revision. It would be the insides of the folder. That's
so
what
this
you're
is
saying.
this is
Right.
the one you're changing.
Right. And instead of the inside of that, what's there
Instead of
now,
this.
plus
Yeah.
those two, it would just be this and this in the inside.
That worked out.
It'll be clean.
So you're not really getting rid of that, you're just
That's the
updating this form.
Basically
They
making
fill that.
that
What you-
into
Oh,
that
right,
form.
okay, yeah.
Right, you're
Kind of
printing in
actually,
it, you're
yeah.
updating this form to a
Right.
newer version and putting it on that
A
paper.
summary page.
I mean, it's not a huge change at all. It's just one less piece of paper.
We can make up some packs for next week, so you guys can do it.
Yeah, wanna give it a try? We could do that.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of what they put on the inside of that they don't put on here, and I know that it's different sometimes.
Right, the only, and all this information that they're requiring here
It's here.
is on that,
Yeah.
right? It's just repeated,
In fact, there's actually more room on the one than there is on this one.
right? So what you're applying for,
You're putting in here.
right? We could give it
Cleaner.
a try, what do you want, wanna do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it a try for next meeting.
Okay. Sounds good.
Why not? Why not? So this is the old one, you have the old one there too. No, this is the new proposal,
You've got the.
this is the old one, and there was one other piece in here. Oh, it's the checklist that goes in there. Yeah,
Yes.
see, I think something like the checklist is really good, cause we wouldn't be running around with this problem, you know,
Yeah, that's not going to change at all.
I did have a discussion, talk with Rob about it, you know, the fact that specifically on this one where we weren't changing the footprint on it. So, you know, I said we've had just plot plans from the assessor's office that have come up, and even to scale, you know, distances to the lot lines even was fine, as opposed to I'm not looking for something, or this specific case. It wasn't, I'm looking for a surveyor's plot plan, but something to indicate where this building is and what we're granting. And I mean, there was nothing, you know, like everybody said, it was included on there. But again, if it's in the application process, it's the application. We can't pick and choose, you know, who in what we're gonna add or delete or not include. It's either all or nothing. That's the way I look at it. I mean, that's the way the
No,
board
sure, I
discussed
think
it in the
that's
last
good,
meeting, right? All right, what else do we have?
That's it.
Is this something we can help you with, ma'am?
Just if they-
Oh, you came, you came in sat down.
Give me a minute, just. No.
All right, works for me. Anything else? I'll accept the motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
and seconded.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so very much.